them chance to participate. When we don't mentor them, you note the results. Young people are less and less interested in church activities. So you are going to note in some afternoon programs, you see them standing under the shades of trees. When we are having church worship, they appear at a divine hour, and shortly after they disappear. Many have lost commitment because they are not so much involved, they are not mentored. And there's loss of membership. Many people begin as children of God, Adventists when they are young, but when they go to high school, university, they disappear in the cloud. So we want to talk about mentorship, and you being senior youth, you have a duty to do to the pathfinders, to the adventurers, because you have to mentor them in order to make sure that they grow in faith and they grow holistically. We are going to talk about some of the objectives of today's seminar. One is to understand the need to pass it on to the youth in all sectors of the church. We want you people to, we want to pass it on to you, the youth, but you also have to pass it on to others. Sometimes you are going to note that the youth are left behind, and when they are left behind, you find that they are not doing much in the church, and that alone spoils it. So we want to be sure that you pass it on. It is not only us, the adults, but you people at your age, you also have people who are under you. Begin passing it on. I've seen people who are master guides for so many years, and as you are doing good work, you should also begin passing it on to other younger master guides. Know the scriptures that are involving the youth. We are going to read a few scriptures that talk about empowerment and giving the youth the ability to begin doing the work and knowing that you are the church today and actually you are the church tomorrow. And then I'll also talk about briefly the steps we have to follow when we are using the younger people for better results. I'm beginning by the scriptures. When you look at the seminar we are talking about, we have the scripture from the book of Psalms, chapter 144, verse 12. It says, "Let our sons in their youth be as grown-up plants, and our daughters as corner pillars fashioned as for a palace." So, when you are a youth, you still have a lot of energy. You are very fast. Your brain is working very fast. So when you can combine your abilities, your energy, and then you use it to grow the church and even to grow as an individual, it will make a better church and it will make a better person. So we are saying you people should know that you are youth, but you have the energy. You should be the plants, the corners, the daughters and the boys and the sons should all be active in the church. It is our responsibility to empower you to have that. Proverbs 20:29, it also talks about the strength you people have. Strength is the glory of young people. Sometimes I want to lift 2 jerrycans of water, but at my age, I'm now getting exhausted. But you people at your age, you can carry 2 and even carry 3 or 5. You can do a lot of work at a faster speed. I see how Esther Waiswa is faster. When we are doing a lot of work, she's very fast. She's still a youth, but you'll see some of us have the energy to do the work, but sometimes the energy has been lost. So you people, the Bible talks about the youth, that you people, you have the energy, you have the strength, and it's better we capture that. Another scripture you need to learn is 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 1-2. 1 Timothy 5:1-2 says, "Treat young men as brothers, older women as mothers, and younger women as sisters with absolute purity." So we are saying, as we serve in the church, I wanted this seminar to give it to the elders, actually, to the people who are adults in church. They should know that these young men we see in church, they may be 15, they may be 12, or they may be 20 years of age. But young as they are brothers in Christ. And yes, as we talk about young people, knowing that we are related by that, but you should also know that you should treat elder people as your mothers. Sometimes older people want to mentor you. They want to talk to you. They talk about how you are dressed, how you are, and we say, you can improve on this, and you say, this woman is a problem to me. We are not a problem to you, but we want you to grow mentored for service. So we should treat men as brothers, the younger ones as brothers and sisters if they are girls. But you should also know that the adults are your parents. So if they are guiding you for better growth, please listen. And younger women, you are guided also that we should treat you as sisters, but you should also keep your purity. Men and women, young as you are, yes, as we want to mentor you, the Bible says you should mind about your purity. Don't simply eat, do anything you want, move around with whatever men you want and whatever girls you want, and you think you are going to do very good work. You need it to be of a person of purity. So the scriptures are made that talk about you and youth and their potential. But this one says in 1 John chapter 2, verse 14, it says, I have written to you, young men, because you are strong. I think you are noting that whatever scripture we are reading is emphasizing how the young people have strength, how they are strong. And so this one is just emphasizing, I have written to you, young men, because you are strong. The word of God dwells in you, and you have conquered the evil. So we want to capture on that strength, and then we see how we can build this church to even a better level. As youth ministry, you are the majority. For us, we are passing it on to you. Begin doing the work that you are supposed to do without competition, but with the aim of improving. The book of Ellen G. White, in one of the testimonies, page 435, it says, "No, let not the youth be ignored. Let them share in the labors and responsibilities. Let them feel they are part of the acts in helping and blessing others." So we are talking about the church now. If you are one of the people in the church board, if you are one of the people in the women ministry, in the ministerial council, let us not ignore the youth, because they have the strength, they have the ability, and let them share the labor. You know, they can do a lot in a short time, and let them also share the responsibility. I was a board member in the Bible Society, and they noted that majority of the people in the board members were above 35 years of age, and yet the country has 75% of the young people as below 35. So what they did, they composed another board, a board that comprises of half of the number of people who are below 35 years of age, because they noted we cannot move forward when we have left the bigger chunk of the people who are actually of that age bracket behind. And when they brought the younger ones, of course, sometimes they don't have the real experience, but at least they know how to move fast. So half adults, half younger ones makes it a good combination. Youth lost because of our negligence. We have many churches where you go and you find the church is only for old people, and then you see them lifting desks, lifting chairs. They are the people cooking, but you know they don't have enough energy to even to split firewood. But according to this seminar, we are saying the youth are lost because of our negligence, meaning we have a part to do in order to win the youth. We have a part to do in order to win the youth. Very much has been lost to the cause of God because of the unintention of the inuntation to the youth. Ministers of the gospel should form a happy acquaintance with the youth of their congregation. So I requested the youth leaders to have this seminar shared with the adults in the church. I also do my part because we do it in the women ministries. We noted that when we leave the young girls out, we are not doing anything. So we formed the young girl, the young ladies ministry, and that is helping us. We even formed another uniform for them. But we are noting the whole church must embrace the youth, because when we don't intentionally include them, then we are not passing on the keys to them. So What does the standard operating procedures say? You know, that word SOP has come in the new normal, but now they are using it in this seminar. What should we do at such a time like this? We need mentors. Who is a mentor? Usually a mentor is a person who is more experienced, but that person works with the person who is less experienced with an intention to help the one who is less experienced to grow into an experienced person. So every person of you, by the end of this seminar, if I would be able to see who is your mentor, do you have a mentor? Intentionally seek to find out a person who is more experienced in the area you want to grow, and then allow that person nurture you into what you want. And sometimes you can learn from that other person at a distance, or sometimes you can even become closer to that person. So we need mentors, you people, in all spheres, in the economic area, in the spiritual area, in the social area, in marriage issues. You need a person you can benchmark from. We should seek to enter into the feeling of the youth, sympathizing with them in their joys and sorrows, their conflicts, their victories. Jesus did not remain in heaven. Away from the sorrowing and sinful, he came down to this world, and that we might be acquainted, that he might be acquainted with the weaknesses. So you see, Jesus himself is the mentor, is one of our mentors, because he looked at man and he decided to come such that we can learn from him. So we need mentors. That is one of the things you must go out and seek by the end of this seminar. If you don't have a mentor, then begin looking for one. Another standard operating procedure, we need to give responsibilities. You people, if you are a choir master and you have been doing that for 5 or so years, begin picking another one from the person who's interested in music, and try to see that that person is trained into becoming a better one, or being one who can replace you when you are not there. We need to give people responsibility. And this does not only stop in church, but even at home. Share responsibility. Don't simply say, I'm the one who knows how to iron daddy's trouser. Share responsibility. Let the children also learn how to iron the trouser, because tomorrow you may not be there, and then they may need that guidance. So God wants the youth to become men of earnest mind, to be prepared for action in his noble cause, in his noble work, and fitted to bear responsibilities. God wants the youth to become men of earnest mind, to be prepared for action in his noble work, and be fitted to bear responsibilities. That is Messages to Young People, page 21. So young men and young women, you have a responsibility to do. But I know as adults, we have a bigger responsibility to do, to nurture you, to mentor you into that. But sometimes you will find that some people fear to give young people responsibilities because they think they are going to be outcompeted. And that mind is what we should teach our adults to overcome. Because when you train another person, you are actually growing the church and you are growing the family. Empowerment. One of the things we have to do in mentoring is to empower you people, to give you the opportunity to serve, and then you feel like you have the ability to do so. So what are we supposed to do? We have to help the youth gain experience. I mean, give them, sometimes we say you will not get this job because you don't have the experience. But if you have not given me a chance to work or do it, how will I gain experience? So if you want a person to gain experience, then give that person the key. Allow that person to serve. If you want a person to learn how to drive a vehicle, then you have to give that person the key in order for that person to practice. So you people, senior youth, you also have a part to do. As adults, we have a part to do, to share the responsibility, and then others will gain experience. Giving them responsibility in the church is our responsibility as senior leaders and as senior youth. Then involving them in the life of the church. If there's something to do with board meeting, if there's anything to do with camp meeting, if there's anything to do with the efforts going for evangelism, involve the youth, involve the younger ones, involve them. They can welcome the people, they can preach the beginning sermon, they can do a lot, such that when you want them to do another thing better, they'll be able to do it because they have been involved. And when they get involved, they give their views, they give their ideas. Some of the young people today are very intelligent, and with this issue of technology, they are very fast. So if you want to move with the modern era, then you must involve the young people. Then helping them to grow in knowledge. One of the things you have to do is to teach. I love this because you people, you're having seminars, and thank you, Esther, and whoever is responsible for this, for keeping you people informed. So you need to help them have the knowledge. If you have something, you know what makes something successful, share. The challenge you have that some of you who are senior youth, you don't want to share with the younger youth how you became successful or what makes you successful. But I'm telling you, the more you share, the more you get more people who are ready to serve, and that's how the work will not be much on your head. Give them opportunities to take the initiative. Sometimes the young people want to take the initiative to begin something, and they said, it won't work. We have not been doing it in the past. That is not how we do it. And so you feel because you did it like that in the past, that's how it should always be. But I'm telling you, give them the opportunity to take the initiative. I saw how Central Uganda Conference had to look at some of the youth that were taking the initiative in having the virtual camp meeting as it has been. So you give them the ability to think and then allow them to take the initiative. Then give them authorities. You know, sometimes you want them to do a lot, but you have not given them the authority to do it. And implementing programs with them and for them. We want the youth and the young people to implement the programs. Yes, the programs with them and for them. You know, you cannot talk about a widow program and then the people who are implementing it are not widows. You cannot talk about a people with disability program and the people who are implementing it are people without disabilities. So somehow, if you want a youth program, involve the youth. They must be part of it. Or if you want them to learn something, make sure they are part of it because they understand it better and they'll experience it when they serve. What else are we supposed to do as we empower the youth? As we mentor them, welcome them. You know, some of them come when they are shy. Some of them, they don't know much. They make mistakes. But when they come, whatever type of problem they may have, they may not be dressing the way you want, but first of all, welcome them and then give them the chance to learn when they are with you. Welcome the youth. Young people are part of the church today, but all the leaders of tomorrow. These people you see today as young, tomorrow they are going to be the Archbishop of Uganda. They will be the Bishop of Central Uganda Conference. They will be the pastors at the district. Or they will be the head teachers. The people you teach in senior one, tomorrow they are the head teachers. I have experienced this. The people I taught in senior and senior two, today I'm seeing them in leadership positions. So we are telling everybody that make sure that you treat these people with respect. Welcome them, because today they seem to be young, but tomorrow they are the leaders. Listening to them outside of our own boxes. We must include them, and sometimes not only inside where we are in the church, but even sometimes when you meet them on the road. Tomorrow you will be looking for a job, and they are the people you have to ask. So, and adults, we should also learn this. There's a lot we can learn from the young people. I have been picking a lot of interest from the young people, and I noted that sometimes there is a lot they know, and probably as adults we don't know. So one of the things you have to do as you mentor them, welcome them, empower them, give them the key. What is mentoring? You know, Mentoring is an intentional relationship that is created between a less experienced person and an experienced one. This one I talked about. When we talk about mentoring, we are saying one who is experienced intentionally relates with another who is less experienced, but with the aim of helping that person, model that person into another person who is fully experienced. The experienced person thus becomes a growth model for the inexperienced one. So this one, you need to get it. The people who are experienced intentionally get a relationship with those who are less experienced, but you have the intention to make them better. And those of you us who are less experienced also seek to get into connected with those who are experienced. The challenge is some of the experienced people don't have time. You may want to connect to them, but they don't have time. Another issue is that some of us who want to be mentored, we are also very stubborn. We don't want to listen. You think you know more because you are a youth. When you are a youth and you want to be mentored, there's a duty for the mentor. There's also a duty for the mentee. Mentor is the one who is experienced. Mentee is the one who is less experienced. But whereas we have a duty as adults, but also you, the younger people who want to be mentored, you have a responsibility to be listeners, to be willing to learn, to be willing to take caution, because sometimes the experienced person will say, take a caution here, and they say, me, I'm going to do this. And then somehow the relationship breaks. So there's a duty for either side. So mentor them is our responsibility. According to David Clutterbuck, a mentor is a more experienced individual willing to share knowledge with someone less experienced in a relationship of mutual trust. So that is according to the Encyclopedia of Strategic Leadership and Management. A mentor is more experienced. That one, you just pick that. For mentorship to take place, there should be a person who is more experienced, and then working with a person who is less experienced, but with a mutual trust and willingness for helping the one who is less experienced become a better individual. So what are we supposed to mentor people into? Which areas? Mentoring has different spheres. You have to mentor in the spiritual accomplishment. That is, if you have a person you are mentoring, or I call that person a mentee, in the spiritual area, you pray with them. That other person in the spiritual area, make sure you pray with them. You can read scriptures with them. You can share some words of encouragement from scriptures or some literature, Christian literature. Or you have also to live an example. You must be the example that that other younger person is speaking from. In the area, has to have some physical activities with that other person. Are you talking about singing and you're the choir master? Then you begin having some songs, and then you read through the solo verse, and then you guide that other person of what to do. Some practical activities, because sometimes we learn better when we do, when we act. Then in the area of moral accompaniment, we must help them in their how they behave, how they make commitment. You must help them have a fair life, a life that is glorifying God. So you must give them the culture of the church, the culture of the society expects of those younger ones' age. But you may find that you are a person of 30 years of age, but there's something you know better than somebody of 50. So you may find you are 30, but you are the mentor of a person who is 50 years because you are more experienced. So when I say young here, young is not necessarily the age, but young in experience. Then the social support. You need to help these people have friends, know how to develop a healthy relationship, how to make choices of partners, how to live if they have their families, how to relate in schools, how to relate in church, and so on. So the word mentoring is a holistic one. You don't only look at just the spiritual side. Don't only help the youth grow in spiritual side, but what is it in their social side? What is it in their economic side? What is it in their morality? And so on. Yes, they are giving us examples here. Practical mentoring. If you are a choir director, so you are the mentor, and then you are mentoring the young musician to become a choir director. So meaning the choir director here is the mentor and the young musician is the mentee. So you should be able to help this other person become also a choir director. So what I told you is that some people don't want to do this because you feel like somebody is going to take up your job. And then so you find somebody is the only one who's doing the choir, he doesn't want other people to learn how to chorister in the church. But that means you'll have a lot of work with you. Train so many people such that even when you go to visit in another church, the church may continue with good service. And then it gives more work and people will share. Then you have done this, you have the experience, then you are the mentor. Maybe that other person also becomes a unity teacher, and later that other person will become a Sabbath school leader in your presence or in your absence. If you are the elder or a pastor, then you are the mentor. We hope you have the experience. Then train the younger leaders. Those who are leading Musida, those who are leading the different church groups in the different institutions, help them grow into other leaders. That means those younger leaders tomorrow, they will become elders. They also become pastors. So here, the elder, the pastor is the mentor, and the younger leader is the mentee. Yes. Empowerment continues. What is it like we are supposed to do as we are about to wind up this seminar? The lesson today of mentorship is emphasizing that give them the key. Give them the key to put on the church machine. If there's sometimes there are those machines in church. Probably you have the PA system, or sometimes you have the piano or something, but there's some other old person, 50, 70 years, who keeps holding on the key. And when he's not there, that other piano will not be opened. Okay, you are doing good work because you are protecting the machine. You could also train other people to keep that other key, but keeping the machine better. So we are saying, even at home, yes, you are doing well keeping your house, but it would be better when your young people, your children know how to keep that house in your presence, even in your absence. So there are people who don't sleep and they say, I'll not sleep until I've locked the house. You are doing well. But one time you are going to be sick and will not be able to lock the house. Better teach your children on how to lock the house. So here the seminar is telling us in mentorship, in empowerment, in helping the young people get involved. One thing we have to do, give them the key. But when you give them the key, don't take the eyes away from them, because you need to keep monitoring, you keep supervising. But young people, when we are supervising, again, don't say this woman, this man is bad, because in mentorship, there's a bit of continuous supervision. Number two, permit them to drive the machine. You don't only give them the key, but you don't allow them to use that key. So permit them to drive the machine. It is your responsibility as a youth leader to help those young ones begin doing the work that you are doing, because it will help you to have many people who are trained. Permit them to make mistakes. Sometimes as they drive, as they use the key, they misplace it, they make mistakes, but train them amidst the challenges. Permit them to make, that means it calls for patience. If you're going to be a mentor, you must be patient, because some people can annoy, but you must be patient. Others, if you don't do that, then you will be doing that work forever until you die, and then another person will come. So permit them to make the mistakes and show them the right thing in love or with love. So when you see they have made a mistake, please guide them with love. Give them the sense of belonging to their church family. Yeah, let these people feel like it is their thing. And when they do it well, it is a benefit to all of us. So what should we do? What to do? One, have a strong will of the community to welcome them. We are saying when you are doing anything with people who are not very experienced, please welcome them. Number two, help the congregation develop dedicated and trained mentors. This one, everybody can be a mentor. So long as you have an experience in something, you are already a mentor. So when you are a mentor, then be willing also to mentor others. Number three, invite younger people to participate in events that will strengthen them spiritually, intellectually, and physically. You people, when we have programs, when we have seminars, and we invite you, come. Because it is an opportunity for you to learn and an opportunity for you to relate with the people who are experienced. But sometimes the youth want to move with the youth and they don't want anything to do with the adults. Listen, there are some things that you can do as peers. But in this seminar, we are telling you there are things you must learn from your elders. So if it's a burial ceremony and you say, it is only my mother and father to go for burial, you are missing a point. That is an event where you can pick from the people there and you say, hey, when they are reading announcements at the burial ground, this is what they do. When they're putting a body in the grave, this is what they do. You learn from the events. So young people, sometimes you are invited, but even if you are not invited, but you have an opportunity, participate in events where there are adults because you are going to learn a lot. Encourage and allow them to organize activities, camps, sports events, etc. I think this one, the church is doing well. You people, you have so many camps, leave alone COVID-19 that affected you. But we are saying as you do that, we are saying we are empowering you, but still respect the church and respect the elders and respect the order. Give them opportunity to lead the church. I think we have done this. We still have a lot to do, but there are special days for the youth, special days for the days. Again, don't be monotonous. Every person who did it last year is the same person on the face. Share with others. If you're a group of 50 and you were the superintendent last time, let another person become a superintendent such that they also learn. Appoint younger people in diverse positions. So when you have those leadership positions and you are making committees, share the responsibility in the different positions. But as you share, you should also aim at training, because the person who was a secretary or a church clerk at that time may not be the best today. But at least when you put another, again, to train what a church clerk is supposed to do, they will do better and better each time they try. Yes, our seminar is almost ending. We are saying go around the departments of your church and report how many young people are appointed in each area. This time the churches are not there, but you should note when you go to church next time, see if it is a committee being composed somewhere, they're making the nominating committee. Look at the people. So usually they appoint those people who are in 60s and 70s, and they leave out the people who are in 20s. So when they're making departments, like different departments, youth, women, what, how many people there are youth? Because if they don't involve them, then you who has known this better get to know that they must know that the youth are the majority, they must be involved. Number two, report the involvement of the youth in the church's spiritual program during the quarter. This one, again, I know it will be a challenge for us now, but we are saying quarterly we would have some spiritual review of how the youth have participated. So when we give you the key, please be willing to take the key. And number four, choose a young person and mentor him for a year and provide a quarterly progress report. Now, you people who are listening to this, you have your younger brothers and sisters and young people in the church. Look for one person you see who could be your mentee. And then that other person, begin mentoring that other person. And then with the time you are going to give a report, Madam Esther will know how to follow up that. Number three, organize a church activity led by youth for the entire church. Evangelism, Sabbath school program. This should be done at least yearly. So we are saying every year, every quarter, the youth should be involved, and that is one way of mentoring and empowering you people for service. I want to conclude because you may have some questions. Conclusion. Young people have plenty of strength. You are lucky you are still so energetic and you have ideas. And as they usually have time, they can commit themselves fully to the church. Because you people, you have the strength, you have the energy, you have the ideas, and sometimes you have the time. This will help you be fully committed to the church. The sooner the young person feels needed and important, the more loyal they will become. So when, sometimes they say they are unruly, they don't want to obey because they are not they are not given responsibility. When I was teaching in the secondary school, there were those people who were very stubborn. They don't want to write notes, they make a lot of noise. When you find that person in your class, you just give that person responsibility. One, if it's noisy, you say you are the class monitor. Then you'll be able to responsible to be sure that people don't make noise because he knows all the tricks of making noise. If you have a person who is a drug addict but a bit sober, you can give him a responsibility as one of the prefects. And then you are going to see, because he is in a position of responsibility, he will not get a lot of time to go smoking and so on. So those other people you see who are so idle, they are in bad relationships, you involve them in activities that keep them busy. The sooner the younger person feels needed and important, the more loyal they will become, and the more difficult it will be for them to leave the church. Even when you have a stubborn child at home, a child who doesn't want to do a lot of work, ensure that a person who is a thief, then make sure that you say, my son or my daughter, you have my key. And so make sure that our bedroom or our whatever is safe. And then I'll be getting reports from you. So you may find that unless otherwise, when that other person is assigned responsibility, usually they perform better because they feel that they are important and they have been assigned responsibility. May the Lord help you, young people, as you learn how to learn from the experience, but also you have the experience, make sure that you help those who are less experienced, and there are scripture that are already supporting the youth. Please read them and read to others. Get some days and talk to the adults, because sometimes the adults don't know their responsibility that they have to mentor. But you also, at your age, you have something you are specialized into. Make sure that in that other special way, you intentionally train another person to be as you are or better as you are. Madam Esther Weiss will always tell you, Madam Esther Weiss was my student at Lakeside College in Lusida. And she started from there from S1 to Senior 6. And because of that, we trained her as a peer counselor. We involved her in many. She was a head girl. And the end of it, when we sit at the office, yes, I know we did some part. We intentionally saw the potential in her as a person who can be a leader. But leave alone, she was also a good person, willing to learn. And even when we are working together at the union, you find that sometimes there's some things she's fast at. She's doing better. So when I want something to learn from her, I still go down and say, Esther, what should I do about this? But also when she wants something from me, she comes and we talk. So you should not be jealous. You should not be competing, but should be aiming at making sure every person grows for the glory of the church and the glory of God. May the Lord help you. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much, Mrs. Sarah Nyende. It has been a very wonderful presentation. I've personally learned a lot and enjoyed the presentation. While you're giving us a very wonderful presentation, Madam, we're joined with very many people. Apparently, we have 82 participants. I'm very glad for all those who have joined us. Brother Wambuga Charles, Miss Miyama Rachel Awena. Then I had Prosi Mukabai. Then Patrick Booker, Omongi Patrick, Ndaula Esther, Moses Muhumza, Justus Perez, Isaac Asimwe, Elder Timothy Mazina, Elder Dawson, Benjamin Kasivante. Thank you all for being part of this very good presentation. I know I'll be introducing and reading very more. I also want to appreciate those who have been giving us very good
I'd like to appreciate our MC, our moderator for the day,
asking
Kruger.
various questions. Before we get to the next part, yes, please. Actually,
Yeah,
hello, Ruth
you network. I was covering you, so you can go on.
Hello. Okay. So apparently, before we started, I didn't introduce, or we didn't introduce very much our facilitator. I wanted some other participants to join. Others were coming while leaving. So I wanted them to first receive the presentation before we go on. At this time, I want to welcome Miss Esther briefly to introduce to us more our facilitator, Miss Sarah, so that perhaps participants who have joined in may now understand and probably try to link what they have got with their profile. Don't forget, immediately after the brief introduction of our facilitator, I'll come back and guide you through the question and answer. Mrs. Esther, Madam, I want to welcome you apparently to lead us brief introduction, give us that bio information of our facilitator. Thank you, Madam. Mrs. Esther, I want to
Okay,
ask you
thank
to
you.
unmute.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dennis, for leading us through and the MC of our day. We want to thank God for those who have participated in our seminar. In a special, want to thank our dear Mama, Mrs. Sarah Nyende. You're so much welcome and thank you so much for the great presentation. Mama Sarah Nyende, we are so happy and we are so blessed to have a seminar presented to us about mentoring, empowerment in youth ministry. And we want to thank you for the love of youth ministry and thank you so much for honoring the Pathfinder Day with the Master Guide uniform. Friends, did you know that our dear mother, the only mother here in Uganda Union we have, is a Master Guide. Many of us are used to seeing her in the sky blue, very well. As our dear mother leading us, want to thank you that today on the World Pathfinder Day, you remember the Pathfinders, and thank you so much for honoring the Pathfinder Day and remembering your Master Guide uniform. And want to thank in especially Mrs. Nyende for presenting to us that powerful seminar in mentoring. We are so much blessed. And Mama Sarah Nyende is my mentor. That one, I am so much interested and very happy that I have my mentor making more mentors and training us more. Thank you so much, my dear mentor, Mrs. Sarah Nyende, for such a wonderful presentation. We shall be having a special training in mentoring. Mrs. Sarah Nyende has been doing the introduction of it, that is in seminar, one of the seminars in senior youth leadership curriculum training, mentoring, empowerment in youth ministry. But we have a full training and a special certificate we are going to give in mentoring. And we shall have our dear mother come back again with another team of psychologists who will take us through that special seminar. It will be a weekend, a seminar that is a Saturday, Sunday, where we'll be having that will be two weekends where we can be able to accomplish that seminar in mentoring, because many people have seen them putting their reactions, their questions in the chat room. People are not easy, the mentors still remain in power, everything like that. But it's just because we are not trained. But in this special seminar for senior youth leaders, we are going to have that special training so that you're trained as a mentor, not just having a presentation and then say, oh, I am a mentor. We are going to have a full 2-weekend session of training in mentorship. And our dear Mrs. Sarah Nyende, who is the Women Ministries Director and Education Director, Uganda Union, and another team, they'll join to take us through that special training. Thank you so much, our dear mother. The group you've been presenting to are those who have joined to train as senior youth leaders in charge of the ambassadors and the young adults. And I want to thank God that we have a very big number. You can be seeing over 80 people participating, but in those 80 people on the group registered, they already gathered in groups. You'll find others are gathered 10, others are 5, others are 6, others are 2. So there are many attending this seminar. Thank you so much. I want to thank you. Mrs. Sarah Nyende, you're free to stay on, or you're free to leave after answering the questions anyway that the group has. I don't know if we have some questions to Mrs. Sarah Nyende before we go to another presentation. The other presentation is a very short one. Within 30 minutes or less, we shall be done. Today we'll keep it short anyway. So back to moderator or Sister Ruth, if there are some questions for our dear presenter today before we get another presentation.
Okay.
Dennis, do you have any questions for the presenter? Dennis, are you there? Okay, Ruth. Ruth, did you note some questions?
Yes, I did.
Okay. You can take on the questions.
Thank you so much,
Mama Sarah.
And thank you, Mama Sarah, for the wonderful presentation. I also want to appreciate Kruger for leading us through. I think he's having a challenge with the network. Kruger, are you steady now? The one question I've noted is age bracket between the mentor and mentee important?
Yes, I'm steady. Do you copy? Do you get me now?
Yes,
Ruth, do you get me now?
Kruger, we do. We get you.
Hello. Like I did say initially, we want to give this time back to our facilitator questions that came from colleagues during.
Kruger, you seem to be having a challenge with your network.
Miss Sarah,
Sorry,
let's her microphone.
Let's have this question go out to Mrs. Nyende. Kruger.
Okay.
The question is.
Thank you, Ruth.
Okay.
Well, we're going to give this time back to our facilitator, like I did say initially, to respond to the questions. If I look at the chat room, most of the members uploaded her. I personally did upload her for such very good presentation. Miss Sarah, I asked you previously to look through the chats. There were very many questions and most comments. Friends, we're appreciating you for the wonderful presentation. There's one person who was asking about the age of the mentor and mentee, and the mentee, like you did put up. I'll ask you perhaps to begin by commenting about that. He was consulting that what should be, that do we have to take age in consideration, like when we are like choosing or like getting a mentee and a mentor. Miss Sarah, you can respond to that as I read more.
Age does not matter. It is only experience that matters, because
Okay.
the person may be 30 years but knows how to drive a vehicle. And for you, you are 50, but you don't know how to drive. Meaning you who is 50 can come down to the person who is 30 and you are picking from them. Like I'm telling you, the people who are guiding me with the Zoom are people of 15 years of age at home. So I'm now their mentee, even when I'm their mother. So I'm telling you, this time with mentorship,
Question came
it
from
is experience.
child whose parents.
It is experience which makes one a mentor, and inexperience is what makes one a mentee. So a person can learn from another. That relationship doesn't mind about age. It is only interest and then willingness to make another person better.
Okay. Thank you. Another question, dear facilitator, was from Susan Mirembe. It was, how do I mentor a child whose parents don't see the gift in me or her, which I wish to see grow? I don't know whether you got the question, madam. Child whose parents don't see the gift in me or her.
The question is not necessarily about parents. Okay. The question should be on the child. Okay. If the child is interested in music and you are good at music, so the parents may not even be seeing the need for that child to grow, but for you, you are already seeing a talent in that child. So what is required of you is basically identifying a talent in a person, or identifying an interest in a person, and you capture that interest into developing it to its full potential. The parents may not know this, and they may not be, like you people, you usually tell us, bring your child for Pathfinder. It is the child until the child is interested. So the parent can help at a particular stage, but in most cases, you, the mentor, can see the potential of the child, and you only pick that potential and you develop a relationship. For you to work with that person, you need to develop a relationship, a rapport. Let that person trust you that what you are doing is good for him or her. But when they see like you want to abuse them, you want to misuse them, you are likely to rape them, they will not come. So make sure that the aim should be a cordial relationship, but not so much related to the parent, because the parents may not see what you are seeing. I've seen pastors picking people and they say you can be a pastor. You know, they come to church and they say younger boy and say this one can be a pastor. Then sometimes they talk to the parents later, but when they have convinced the young person. So the parent is not so much in question, although because you may want some time with the child and the parent may need to accept. But begin with the interest of the person.
Okay. Now, Madam, the other question was coming from Stanley, and that was, what's the difference between a mentor and a role model? I think Stanley joined late and missed some part of the presentation. I'll ask you to clarify. Stanley is asking the difference between a mentor and a role model.
A mentor is a person who intentionally, the word now that makes a difference is intentional. You see a person has the ability, but you intentionally work out to help that person develop into what you want. But a role model is a person you are copying even when he knows or not knowing. You may be here and you are, like as a girl, you want you are taking Honorable Kadaga as your role model. And you find the Honorable Kadaga even doesn't know you, and you may not even know her directly, closely. But for The mentor
Sorry, madam, you
intentionally,
can go on. I'm looking for that part.
the person intentionally
I
aims
will
at making.
unmute, rather mute them. Please go on.
Okay, let me say it
Go
again.
on,
I'm
madam.
saying for the mentor, the person intentionally develops a relationship with the aim of helping the person improve. But for a role model is a person who might be distant away from you, but you want to learn from that person. You want to pick a leaf from Pastor Kakembo, for example, as a preacher. But the problem is you are not even coming near to him or something. You are learning at a distance. But for a mentor, there is usually a relationship. You create time for one another. You pray for one another. You share, and then you do things together. Mentorship is intentional. Role model can be at a distance.
Okay, thank you very much, facilitator Mrs. Sarah. Most of the members appreciated. We're very thankful for the presentation, and above all, keeping time. Thank you. May the Lord bless you.
Amen.
Ruth Tasinka, is there something I really missed out that is very, very pertinent that our facilitator has to respond that came from the participants?
I haven't noted any.
Ruth, yes.
I think we are covered.
Yes, yes.
Let's allow Mrs. Weiswa to use this time.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, apparently, friends, we are 7